Okay, so Ghost of Tsushima is a video game I never played. And apparently it's coming out with a sequel called Ghosts of Yotai, which is they're both samurai games on the PC, computer, Xbox, PlayStation. Apparently the first Ghost of Tsushima is very good. I didn't play it. I was kind of burned out on overworld, big open exploration games for a long time because I played 200 hours of Elden Ring, and then I just didn't want to play games like that anymore for a while. Because I was also playing other games that were just like that as well. I think I played a series of open world games one after another, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. So Ghost of Tsushima, I kind of missed up on, but apparently it's really well respected and people like it a lot. The sequel to it is coming out. It's called Ghosts of Yotai, and it's changed the script completely. Now, from what I understand, everything about the character of the game, what's going to happen in it, the sort of narrative type elements and shit that are going to be in it, all of that stuff is probably exactly the same. But they have ruined the game. The game is functionally destroyed. Before anybody has ever played it or gotten a chance to play it, the game is ruined. It's over. Because they fucked up and they did one thing that is just unforgivable and can't ever be done. They made it gay and put a chick in it. Made her gay and lame. I don't even know if she's gay, but she's a chick, so she has to be gay and lame. The Ghost of Tsushima sequel, Ghost of Yotai, has a female main character, which has resulted in the usual suspects coming out and being weird about it in just kind of a general sense. I still, to this day, do not understand the burgeoning dislike of female main characters because it never seems to follow the same path. Old female main characters were okay as long as they have fat titties and are still hot. If they have been de-hotted, no. New female main characters are also bad. Too many females is bad. Females that can do shit and beat a guy is bad. If there was a guy and now there's a girl instead, it's bad. Even though that's technically less gay overall, because if you're a guy, now you're not controlling a guy, you're controlling a girl, right? But no, that's bad. The additional presence of female agency in games is bad. We can keep the minimum amount we already had, okay, but that you still have to have fat titties and no facial hair. And by facial hair, I don't mean like a beard. I mean like she can't have peach fuzz on her old chinny chin chin. Also, women can't have chins. Also, women should have the biggest tits possible to fit on a 12-year-old's body. Pointing out that a lot of these guys are into like little girl looking adult women and are trying to constantly push adult women into having childish prepubescent features is weird that you did it. Even though also a lot of them hang out with or are 1 degree of separation or fewer away from lolicon and pro-pedophilia apologists. It's very strange. The man himself apparently made a video on it. We're gonna go to we're going to travel through the warp to the plane of pestilence and disgust, the swamps of poison, and visit Nurgle himself in his mansion. The Rat King, Asmongold, has covered this, and honestly, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. There's absolutely no fucking way on Earth that I need any more. By the way, I did watch the trailer earlier today, and looks like a mostly non-gameplay trailer with just some like pretty basic repetitive actions like running and riding a horse type shit. It's a cinematic trailer, so not really a lot of gameplay. Looks fine. Looks very pretty. The girl looks like a girl dressed up like a traditional samurai type person from Japan with a hat and a mask and swords and maybe a little wolf friend. Who knows? Who knows? Rob Ford gifted a goof subscription to 3Dizzle. Thank you very much, Bobby Ford. But let's see what he has to say.
He says, do I have to play as a girl? In what I imagine is the same tone as his other favorite line, do I have to brush my teeth? Okay. Do I have to play as a girl? Can I play as a guy? Alyssa. I brush my teeth every day. I've only got 5 of them. It's not like it's a lot of work. And yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say that's false. I don't think he does brush his teeth every day. I appreciate that half an hour into any, or half a minute into any Asmongold clip, which are usually like a minute and a half long, we've just watched another Asmongold clip for most of it, and we're already onto his despicable personal hygiene. The man knows how to play the hits. He's never going to go away until eventually like his lifestyle kills him, or somehow someone more disgusting and relevant to the current needs of the Mom, I don't know if you understand this, but it is actually fascism for me to have to get a bath, and it's crazy that you're trying to make me get one. The kind of people that want to fucking Rat King up in their fucking attic. But like, I just can't imagine having to giving a passion defense of brushing your teeth. Lol, Kyle Tyler said, mocking Asmongold's hygiene. If you're in that other streamers community, is he doing this right now? Or has he stopped doing it because I started pointing it out? My favorite part, I know I'm talking about two different people. My favorite part of seeing thumbnails come from out of there is that in his strongest use of artificial intelligence, selective pausing, and Photoshop manipulating me to make me as bad looking as he can, I'm still fucking hotter than he is at his absolute best. It's nuts, man. I don't know how one guy can be just so fucking on-camera worthy. I would say, unironically, like, Asmongold has a cleaner looking setup, better lighting, and better, like, skin overall than President Sunday. Am I wrong? Is that crazy to think? Hold on. Somebody has to have typed the words bug streamer into my fucking Discord at some point. Here we go. Hey, look, we got everybody. Everybody's here together. We got this and fucking Asmongold. Like seriously. I gotta say, is that okay? That's trickery Asmongold. Trickery Asmongold. AI edited to look like he's not in a fucking despicable filth palace. I would say this looks like any random picture of him. Open image, a new tab. Like, yeah. I gotta say, yeah. No, Asmongold's got it more put together. Does he have the fucking rotting ceiling? Sure. But I mean, this is his house. Like, he owns it. President Sunday just rents. You know? Get mad at me. Oh. We've all rented Sunday, calm down. But yeah, man. I would say just from the general color of both sets, I would say they smell probably almost exactly the same. Yeah, probably almost exactly the same. I couldn't say either one of them would smell better. How's the fit? Neck pulled out, shirt. I don't know if that has a collar on it that's folded up or not. It is what it is. A little disheveled, neck beard. We got the fucking we got the fucking goiter hanging down there. My man over here, however, a little bit trimmed up. Hair's looking pretty decent. Hair always disheveled. We got that bean. He's a little pushed back. Got that little bean shape. I gotta say, overall, and as far as lighting goes, you know, the professionalism that Asmongold shows by turning one light on, pretty solid. I think if you had to compare the two, I think Asmongold comes out ahead. And by ahead, I mean a full head of hair. Oh my god. Amazing. Fucking dude, I got so many fucking orbiters now. This is awesome.
I don't want to play as a girl. Is that crazy?
It's not. Mr. Baldy, let me handle this. Alyssa, how about showing a little bit of sensitivity to someone that swings the other way?
Does Asmongold drink as much? From what I understand, Asmongold is a teetotaler. I could be wrong about that, but I think Asmongold doesn't drink or smoke weed. I think his only habits are an absolute lack of self-care and caffeine. I think like Asmongold is like a fucking 5 out of 5 caffeine fiend. Like he's nonstop drinking caffeinated drinks, which is an actual addiction, by the way. If you ever start doing that, stop for a week and see how bad your head hurts. But yeah, I don't think he actually like drinks alcohol or anything like that or smokes weed. If he does, I feel like he would be shit-faced. Like anybody that's like living in that condition is not gonna. The background is gonna be full of fucking liquor bottles. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. If you don't clean up for yourself and you drink, you'll be liquor bottles everywhere. If you've never been to an alcoholic who doesn't clean up, their house is just Tito's everywhere.
Like I used to sleep in a bed with 5 other dudes.
I'm so straight, I could suck a dick and it wouldn't be gay.
And it's not even like we haven't tried to show you for years.
I'm not into it, man. I don't like it. And this is the same with everything. Like, I don't play Tomb Raider. As soon as I found out Metroid was a girl, I was done. I was so worried about that shit happening with Master Chief, too. But it's 2019 now, so you never know what's gonna happen.
2019. My man's head changed shape completely. Is this just a trick of the camera? He's got like a perfect like teardrop this way, and now he's like a downward egg. He like grew a jawbone at some point since this. How the fuck old is Asmongold? I thought Asmongold was like my age, right? Or like a few years. Isn't Asmongold like 33-ish? 32, 33? I don't know.
But have you tried?
Hey, I remember this person.
I actually wish I could. I'm not like I'm not sorry. Like imagine you could play Smash Brothers with your boys and then smash your boys. And I'm not sorry. That's right. She can get mad except for Stellar Blade. If there was a male and female option to play Stellar Blade, I would have played it with a male option. Maybe I'm gay. Yep. Maybe I'm gay. But that's
he beat me to my argument. I was going to say it's a little gay.
Don't ever be sorry, my man. This absolute bigot disgusts me.
Okay, wasn't specifically the fucking wasn't specifically the tack I thought they would take, but it is what it is. I thought he was gonna talk about it, but I guess that's the entirety of it. There's a girl, don't want to play it because it's a girl. Everybody else that I've seen is kind of making the same complaints. There's not really too much dunking to be done. I think it's kind of why I'm like hopping into this. I got confused when people were talking about it, and I was like, I thought they were upset because there's a black guy in the game, and that's a different samurai game. But it's coming out the same. That's the Ubisoft samurai game. Has Yasuke, who is a black dude, and they were mad about that, even though that black guy is real. And that's where we found Colonel Otaku Gatekeeper, the pedophile guy who's upset about little kids' swimsuits and maybe actually a fake British person. I feel like even just a few years ago, or a few months ago, that Asmongold would have went a little bit harder on this, because I've seen a bunch of these little mini clip outs. You know, he fucking finds somebody, responds to him. This is ridiculous. And he's got his little editor. I want you to tell me that I'm going to explain the joke to you in full. This is a stupid idiot. She needs to talk to herself before she goes to sleep and tell herself to not wake up. Whatever that voice is that he puts in there. I think people are not giving a shit anymore. I think we sort of said this yesterday. And I don't know if I was talking about this on the Discord or on stream, but I think people are kind of done with the Gamergate 2. And I feel like this might be the start of it. Now, I'm not saying that misogyny is going to be gone or anything like that, but Grum's getting cracked, just absolutely fucking obliterated like 3 weeks in a row over shit. The Mick Dizzle gaming guy is still just talking about fucking Grumps constantly. Most of the people that are in that sphere being kind of just like outed as either professionally fucking lame professional grifter, like literal just grifters, like with the Andy Pants Gaming and Act Man thing, or just kind of like, in the case that I think like Asmongold and maybe some of the other more serious actors, maybe starting to see some of the writing on the wall that they'll probably get plenty of play with this for their audience for a few months, you know, maybe even like the better part of a year. But I think the dividends are really starting to wear thin on this shit, especially the way that they felt when I was first covering like Asmongold Chud takes like 6 months ago and stuff. It felt like way deeper. And when they would release a movie, a full video for them, like, you know, 14, 15 minute, and it would be like kind of fucking everywhere. And now it just doesn't feel like that big of a deal. And I don't know if it's like I'm not getting advertised to it, but I just don't think people care. And I think also the market has readjusted. The market's readjusted just a little bit, you know what I mean? To being less, not accommodating to like minority people, but just like less focused on the rainbow capitalism aspect of pushing your properties. And like to a degree, like a lot of these guys are technically correct, in that a bunch of these properties that are like wokey shit are failing, and so they're starting to move away from that. It doesn't mean that the properties are going to get better. It's just Disney's completely shameless cash grab, make as much as possible in this, that, or the other extended universe, you know, returning, basically making sequels that aren't sequels by just reusing characters in the universe instead of continuing the former plot line from the last movie. That sort of mass cash grab attempt at money making that they were doing in a series of different directions. I mean, if you guys actually remember like 2017, I think it was, when they were releasing the roadmaps for games, or the roadmaps for properties, and it was like Untitled Batman, Untitled Robin, Untitled Green Lantern, this, that, and then like you had the fucking Disney had like 16 fucking Star Wars properties and 9,000 fucking Marvel properties. I think that era of corporate development like is over. I think they're like, we hit max bottom of the bucket on this. We're not getting our dividends returned. We either have to focus on making actually attractive properties, or we're going to completely burn out the rest of the goodwill we have with these brands. Because, I mean, you see in Marvel, it wasn't even just like we put a chick in it and made it gay and lame or whatever the fuck. You had like a series of just, I'm burned out on everything properties coming out. I liked Loki. I just still haven't even watched Loki season 2. I didn't watch any of the Thor movies after Ragnarok. And Ragnarok was not all that great. I have not seen a single Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I didn't see The Eternals. I didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is like led by a white Christian man. You know what I mean? But like, it was just because I already saw Guardians of the Galaxies 1 and 2, and then I'd also seen Peter Quill in 2 other fucking films where he Peter Quilled it up. And then I also saw, what's his name that plays Peter Quill in like a Jurassic Park movie or 3 and the Lego movie also. And I'm kind of just sick of seeing him all the time in movies, you know, over the course of a decade. And you just get tired of it. And I think the kind of knock-on effect of that sort of development where we're like, okay, what can we do to sell these properties at the end of them? Put a chick in it, make her lame and gay, whatever the fuck, you know. That sort of corporate desperation to just capitalize on rainbow capitalism to basically get these last properties out the door. I think they found that was running thin too, because that was successful for a little bit. There was a plenty of movies starting from like 2016 with the 2016 Ghostbusters that was ostensibly like terrible, right? I didn't ever see it. I saw clips from it. I was like, this looks just boring. It just doesn't look like fun. I don't care. If you like it, you like it. But that was like the beginning one, right? And there was a bunch of controversy and everybody cared. And people hated it because girl Ghostbusters, right? And people loved it against all odds because girl Ghostbusters, and not maybe necessarily because it was good. And so that got that whole movie like a cultural forefront that it would have never gotten based on quality alone. Like, it was just literally not as good as it was, as would justify talking about it as much as you could talk about it. That's the point. And And they continued it on. You know what I mean? The corporate powers that be kind of jammed this or that in. And then some people were just earnestly making bad properties that just happened to hyper focus on specific like id poll issues and identity centering shit. And that language became part of the marketing language for a lot of these properties from like 2020-ish, when you had the like, okay, we're going to do woke now. Black Lives Matter, blackout for capitalism, whatever the fuck, for like 2 or 3 years. And like everybody that kind of was even fired up by that is, the culture war guys that blow those things up even when it's not what it is have kind of overplayed their hand and just really saturated the fuck out of their market. You know what I mean? People are feeling exhausted about important issues now just because we talked about them too much. People don't want to hear about IP every fucking day, even if it is something that directly relates to you. Like women are sick of hearing of abortion rights, and it's directly like, you know, a thing that is seriously important to them. But it's like, God, I don't want to spend another week on this. I need to not hear about it. I need to take a mental break. And I think the outrage economy is sort of tapped out. I think it's sort of getting like tapped out. Because I just don't see people get mad the way that they used to either. Remember when people were pissed? Remember when like a standard Ben Shapiro reaction to a woman doing a thing that a woman would do, but not the way that he wanted it to happen, would be like big. Like he would be pissed as fuck. I can't believe this. Buck. And then people would be pissed as fuck at him for saying it. And then people would be pissed as fuck at those people who were pissed as fuck. The knock on just doesn't go that far anymore. You know what I mean? It just doesn't reach out and like hit those big waves and continue all the way down the way that it felt like it used to. And I don't think that the new generation of people are really about keeping it going. And everybody that is pissed about stuff that seems more relevant to the like immediate day. Like no one's mad at video games. I don't think most people care as much anymore, especially considering most video games for the last 10 years have been free to play. I never even brought this up before, but I've thought about this a bunch too. From 2018-ish to now, the dominant games have been free to play games with skins thrown in. And you buy the skins or you buy season passes. And so like, you know, Fortnite, you just go get it. If I wanted to play Apex right now, it's free. I think still everywhere. Like you just download the game. And so the consumer incentive for the game to be good just kind of hasn't been present there for a long time. And the only games that you're buying yearly installment wise are games that have been bad for a long time because they're bad. Like Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like all of the subsequent Modern Warfares, it's like, okay, I get it. You're going to fucking heat up my graphics card to about 10 billion degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to look really cool in this hallway for 10 seconds while we got our night scopes on. But then I'm going to be sick of this game before like the end of Christmas breakfast. You know what I mean? And the lack of consumer incentive to have good games from AAA developers who care about gay shit is kind of not there anyway. You know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, they're going to make another game. I'm not going to play it, you know? Whereas with these other before, it was like, oh, they tricked you. You pre-ordered it. You bought the game and now it's gay and bad. Or you were invested in it and this is the sequel and now the sequel's gay and bad and you should be mad. I don't think that's hopping anymore, you know? Most of the video games that I see people hyper fucking excited about are sequels to sequels, updates of very, very old games. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the few new games that's coming out. And it's a sequel. Yotai is a sequel anyway. Fucking Stalker, you know, the last game that I remember people getting mad about, really, really mad, justifiably, was Cyberpunk. And now no one cares anyway, because apparently it's beautiful and gorgeous, and it's the most best good game ever. If you have the graphics card and a VR headset to run it, it's like being in the Matrix or whatever the fuck. And I think like that's kind of the case. Like people are playing Among Us. Like the group of kids today that are growing up on video games played Among Us, Fortnite, maybe somebody else's video games that have been on a system fucking forever. but like they're not like I am in my mind, where I'm like, I have to be hyper fucking consumer focused because I want a video game to play this winter, and like there's no good video games coming out, and I'm gonna buy one because I'm a video game addict, you know, and like I don't want to buy one and it's a bad game. That sort of like bad game mentality doesn't even really exist anymore, because you can just get on Steam and turn it in. You just turn it in. You play a game for like under 2 hours. You're like, Steam, I don't fucking want to play this anymore. And Steam's like, okay. Like there's an entire series of a guy speedrunning Resident Evil remake games in under 2 hours and getting his refund. You know? I just don't think that the economics of this support the outrage culture that people are building up on the internet. And it seems more like people are playing the hits and wanting to like kind of chase the dragon of being that like righteously pissed at people, and it's just no one's delivering. You know, you can't get fucking SJWs triggered anymore. Like they just don't care. Like the old cope and seethe that you would tell to people kind of fucking slapped in the mid 2010s when people didn't know that like, damn, I really am being filmed and this is going to see like 1.5 million people are going to see it. Now people are just get haircuts just in case they get shot by the cops that day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to look bad. Like, why are you putting your makeup on? Like, I got to go and I don't want to look bad on a body cam. Like, okay, you know, it's just a different world. So you can't even like go to a college campus and get people fucking pissed off. The most angry pro-Palestine protesters are just going to like kind of chest bump you and call you an asshole. Whereas in 2014 and shit, you could like legitimately get somebody with a colorful haircut and an unkempt physical appearance, you know, if like losing their mind, their hair's flying, Trigglypuff. You can't even get that anymore. So there's kind of like no real fulfillment, and it's kind of, I think it's kind of, it might be over. I guess really I'm just interested in what the next position is. You know what I mean? Because like if you do win, like there's legitimately people that have built their careers on like no more gays in video games. So what if there is just a slurry of years where everyone's just like, actually the fucking next like Space Marines 3, 5, 6, and 7, 4 are also there. I don't know why I skipped 4. These next Space Marine games got no gays in them. They're just all about the Emperor and pseudo religious fascism, and they don't give a fuck. I kind of like it. I'm just going to play the fuck out of this. I don't even care that there's no gay characters or chick characters in this game that much. Or even if there are, they're cool. Like, is your entire content cycle going to fall apart? Because it just feels like a lot of the people that are attracting these audiences in these spaces are just getting like dumber and dumber viewers. You know what I mean? And they're going to want dumb viewer content. It doesn't matter. If you're stupid, you're stupid. I don't give a shit. But like a dumb viewer wants dumb viewer content. They want dunks and they want quips and shit. You know, they're not there. I was listening to Pondering Politics talking to Pisco, fucking Hutch, and another guy yesterday, and I was like, oh, you couldn't ever react to this as a like hardcore right streamer. I kind of just realized that you would have to try to find the most clipped clip of clips. Because it's 4 boring middle-aged white guys, not even in suits, so you can try to say, like, these rich people are out of touch. They're just, like, sitting in their fucking houses talking politics in the most calm, almost sort of, like, boring manner possible. Not like it's like, completely uninteresting or anything, but it's just, there's nothing to it. And, like, your audience will mature into that at some point. You know what I mean? Like, the guy that becomes the skater kid in 2001 and stays like that for 25 years and buys every Tony Hawk game or whatever is a rarity, you know? So you got to bring in new people. I don't think this next group of kids is going to be into what all this stuff is. So it has to be a new grift. It just has to be a new fucking swindle, a new scam. And the people that are already there, like, are they going to age up into wanting something else from you? And you're going to try to do like more grounded, like cerebral content where you like talk things out and stuff? Or is it, you know, you're just going to fucking ride it out? I'm just really interested in what quartering is going to be doing. That's really it. I don't watch quartering content. I don't think you're supposed to. I just get his highlights, his clips, his responses, and his tweets, which I think is sufficient. You know what I mean?
you enjoyed